Imagery today, all right? And I am going to read a little passage out of Pink and Say, which is a book that we've read. I'm going to pick out a passage out of here and read it to you. And then I'm going to have you close your eyes, and you are going to create a mental image in your mind that helps you comprehend what I have just read to you, okay? So when you do that, when you create that mental image in your mind, what parts of the story are you going to think about?
The important details.
The important details, the most important parts of the story, right? Because that's going to help you understand what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's get started. We didn't like it, but then she pushed us. Hurry, afore they're here. She lifted the root cellar door and shoved us in. Don't come out till I tell you. We heard the porch steps creak as she ran from the cabin. She's drawn them off, Pink whispered. When the marauders came in, my heart was pounding so hard I was sure they could hear it up above us. There was a terrible commotion as they ransacked looking for food. Then there was silence. A single shot echoed through the trees outside. They let out a war whoop as they thundered off. We waited for a sign from Momo Bay, but it didn't come. Finally, we climbed out and ran outside, only to see Momo Bay laying just beyond the porch. We put you in their way by staying here, Pink cried as he rocked her in his arms. Her eyes were looking in a faraway place as she closed them. Your son loves you, Momo Bay. Your son loves you. He sobbed as he kissed her. We both held her hand until there was no more warmth in it. All right, so think about that passage. Close your eyes and just think for a minute. Think about what I just read to you, and think about the most important details. What just happened? Can we discuss a little bit about what just happened? What did you just hear?
Momo got shot by the
Confederate soldiers. And do you remember that word that I kept having problems with saying to you? That starts with an M?
Moderate.
Almost. Good job. Marauders. Yep, she got shot by them.
For being an African American and black.
For being an African American, because this was during the Civil War time, and the Confederate soldiers were out looking for Union soldiers, or just going around ransacking houses and taking things and destroying things. And so yes, she did end up getting shot. Where were the boys when this happened?
In the root cellar.
They were in the root cellar, so they were not able to help her, right? Why were they hiding in the root cellar?
Because Momo Bay told them to go to there.
Because
of the Confederates.
The Confederates, yeah, the Confederate soldiers were coming, so she told them to hide. Very good. Very good. I think that you did a really good job understanding what I just read. So it is your turn to create your image using this doodle splash. And you can do whatever colors you want. And whatever you saw in your mind or you imagined when I was reading that to you that helped you understand what I read, that's what image I want you to draw. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We've talked about that. It's not going to be perfect. Just do your best, okay? And then we'll talk about it. And you can use whatever colors you want. Can you tell me the colors?
Brown.
Can you on that side maybe? Why the brown colors?
For Pink and Say.
Okay.
I mean, not for Pink and Momo.
For Momo, okay.
And for Pink.
Okay. So can you tell me the scene that you're thinking about drawing right now? What scene came to mind when I read that passage to you?
Pink holding on to his mother's arm.
Very good. Pink holding on to Momo Bay after she had been shot. Okay. Is that going to be Momo Bay or pink?
Pink.
Pink.
Person that he told me is Momo.
Good job. I see that. I see this one's pink. Is that right?
Yeah.
And that's his mom, Momo Bay, that he's holding on to. Okay. Tell me about that.
Kind of gray clouds because
You think gray clouds?
yeah.
Why would gray clouds come to mind during this time?
I don't know.
I think you're right. I think that's a good way to interpret this. When I think of gray clouds, I kind of think of sadness, right? I don't know if that's what you were thinking, but that's a very good interpretation of that. One more thing about Momo Bay that I think would be important is how I know that she was laying there and he was holding her, but what had just happened to her?
She just got shot.
She just got shot, so there might be
Blood.
maybe some blood. Yeah, there might be some blood on her. A bullet wound. Okay, good job. Very good job. Awesome. All right, let's talk about, we're going to talk about these three things that are included in the Doodle Splash. The summary of the text. So what is the summary? And I know we've just kind of went over this, but the summary of what we've just talked about. What's the summary of the passage that we just talked about? What just happened, basically, in that passage that I read to you?
Momo got shot.
Momo Bay got shot. Can you give me a little bit more details?
By the Confederates for being African American
Okay,
black.
very good. By the Confederates for being African American. And tell me a little bit about where Pink and Say were when this happened.
The root cellar.
They were in the root cellar. And why were they in the root cellar?
Because Momo May told them to go there.
Right. Wasn't safe for them to be in her house because she knew the Confederates were coming. She could hear them coming. Very good. When they were in the root cellar, what happened? What did they hear? What went on?
First they didn't hear anything for a while, then they heard a gunshot in the woods.
And then they heard a gunshot go off, and that gunshot was what?
The
A
Confederates
result of what?
killing Momo.
Very good. The Confederates killed Momo Bay. Very good. Okay, and then we've already... Give me one more little explanation of your doodle.
See, the gray man represents like sadness because Momo died.
Okay, and that's what I was thinking too. The gray does signify sadness because Momo Bay died. So tell me about your people that you drew.
Momo's like kind of laying on the ground with blood on her shirt.
Right.
Why Pink is still holding her.
Pink is holding Momo Bay. Very good. Okay. So it says significance of doodle to text. And actually you can type in these boxes. So if we were ever doing another activity with this would be something pretty nice to have because you can just type your answers right there. So significance, what's the importance of this drawing that you made to what I read to you?
To remember Pink and Pink, what he kind of had to go through.
Okay, yeah, it's significant. Your drawing is significant to the text because it represents what happened, doesn't it? That drawing is exactly what happened, and it's how you perceived it in your mind. So very good. You did a really good job with that, buddy. Thank you.
Wait, hold on. I forgot.